We're here in Emek Refaim, a neighborhood in Yerushalayim. I met today with a very interesting man by name Michael Thaler. The reason we met him today is to tell us about his daughter Rachel, who got murdered in a pigua in Karnei Shomron, 2002. Michael Thaler is come from a Holocaust survivor family, and I would like him to to give us a little bit background about himself.
Moved to Israel in 1971. Served in the 73 war, in Yom Kippur War, and then in the war in 82 in Lebanon.
And in one point, you decided to move back to the United States. And I would like to take you to this year of 2002, February 2002, 16 on
February 16.
February 16 on 2002. Tell us, you weren't here in Israel. How did you hear about this bombing attack?
What I did was I went on to Arutz 7. They said there was 30 wounded. And I scrolled down and I saw the hospitals that the wounded were in.
I'm getting the chills. So in the article, pretty much they right away say that there is 2 kids.
2 kids killed.
That killed and 30 injured.
30 injured.
Some of them severe and some of them I think were released pretty fast from the hospital.
Right.
So when you know about the bombing, how fast you knew that actually your daughter was ruined?
Okay. What happened was, again, I scrolled down on the Arutz 7 page. I saw the hospitals that they were on, so I called the hospital, the number that was listed, and they put me on hold. It seemed like so long. Again, this is, say, 7:30. 8 Israeli time, maybe even a little earlier, but it's about 3 in the morning in Israel, and I'm on the line holding the telephone, and all of a sudden my cell phone rings, and at the same time I got an answer from the hospital. My ex-wife was calling me on the cell phone. I finally put down the hospital phone. I talked to my ex-wife, and she tells me we have 2 kids in the hospital. One seriously injured, my son, 14 and a half, and my daughter unconscious, and she's very critically injured. And again, it's shocking. You think, well, what do I do now? How on a Saturday night do I go get a ticket? Okay, so I run to my rabbi, because I know he had a lot of connections, but he wasn't there. I go to another synagogue. Anyway, eventually I found out that they're having a bat mitzvah party. A very important doctor is having a bat mitzvah party, so we drive there. It takes about a half hour, 45 minutes. I walk in about 10 o'clock at night, and I went to talk to him, and he found someone, a travel agent. I get a ticket. It ruined the party. So they say, let's go back to the synagogue. The party more or less ended, and they had a Tehillim service, for my daughter, for my 2 kids. So that's very. And then I went home. I had the ticket. The flight leaving Jacksonville to New York was at 6 in the morning. So of course I didn't sleep the whole night. Okay, and I had some friends stay up with me. I get on the flight to New York. And then I connect to the, I think it was El Al, or it could have been Air Canada, a direct flight to Israel. And I, very nervous, pacing up and down. And I look in the Hebrew paper, I think it was the Yediot, and it tells you about a girl severely injured with a brain injury, and you know it's your daughter. And there was other girls wounded very critically, but there was one boy who was critically injured. And I know that's my son. Okay.
They weren't hospitalized in the same hospital?
No. Well, my daughter was directly taken to Schneider. my son was taken to Meir in Kfar Saba.
So, can you tell us about those 11 days? 11 days she was.
Oh, it was very, very difficult.
What's
Yeah.
it's a hope. It's a fear. What's the?
I was saying Psalms almost the whole. I'm not that religious, but I was saying Psalms the whole time. My ex-wife also went to a Kabbalist rabbi, and they changed her middle name. They changed it from Dana to Gila. Okay, so it's Rachel Gila. As a matter of fact, someone put up what do you call it in the synagogue a notice, that she died with the name of Dana instead of Gila. Okay, so it's listed, it's posted there in Jacksonville with the wrong name. But again, it was very difficult. I don't think I had it so tough. Okay, again, I come from a Holocaust family. No family. They're all killed. Okay, and I also had an understanding. My parents, all friends were from Europe. They all went through the same thing. My first language was Yiddish. My name was actually Mendel before it became Michael. And I used to listen to these stories all the time, all kinds of different stories. So it's people don't understand it.
So you almost see it as a price of being Jewish, or price of being Israeli Jewish.
There's a lot of truth to that. Again, when I studied Jewish history, and you go through all the centuries and all what happened, and then also I understand, and I used to explain. I used to have Jewish and non-Jewish friends. They used to ask me before the bombing, what are you supposed to do? So I used to explain is what we're supposed to do is like the leftist kibbutzniks in Ben Gurion and all those people used to say, we have to build the country, bring more immigrants, industry, improve the country. I used to add one thing: there's casualties along the way, because I knew the Arabs are not going to stop. Now, again, since I said this and I understood it, so when it's your child, you never expect it to be your own child. But the thing is, I understood these. I understood these happen.
So, so as a father, how do you like to remember Rachel?
Very hard question. She was a very lovely girl. She was born premature. Okay, in London on the way to New York, and she just weighed 2-point-something pounds, a kilo and something, in the 28th week, and she was very small, so she had development problems, and she had to go to special classes all the years. Okay, but she had a great personality. She was friends with all the girls. I used to get angry with her. She's always on the phone. But you don't.
Social butterfly.
Yeah. So you don't realize till it's afterwards that her friends said she was making peace between all the girls.
Oh wow, a peacemaker.
Yeah. Sorry about that, no. But it usually doesn't happen. But
she was 9th grade.
I think so, 9th to 10th grade. In Dolev. Ulpana. It's a special Ulpana for girls from broken homes. She was one of the few who had a learning problem, so she needed smaller classes. Mm-hmm. Special place, special time.
Have you ever went to the place, to the pizza place?
First of all, I go to Karnei Shomron.
After the bombing, have you ever visited?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. Because I went to stay there for 2 months when my son was in the hospital for about 3 weeks, and then he went back to live in Karnei Shomron. So I rented a place in Karnei Shomron for 2 months, and you go to the where they have the shopping center, and you'd see in the wall, in this concrete wall, you would see nails right into the wall. That, you know, they didn't bounce off the wall, they penetrated the wall.
And if I'm not mistaken, in the article it said that the way that Rachel got injured is from the nails.
Yeah, she had a head wound. She had wounds all over her body. All over her body, but the main thing that killed her was the head wound. I'm not sure if I'm not sure it was no, but the head wound is what done her in. And you know, we prayed for 11 days. The whole people were saying psalms in all the synagogues here in the United States.
During the 11 days,
right,
she was unconscious.
Right. Very difficult period, but again, we've gone through a lot worse, and some people. My ex-wife, she has it a lot harder. You know, a woman gives birth to a child, and she has it a lot harder than I do. And just one more thing on that. This year, January 28th, 2016, would have been her 30th birthday. That was the hardest day that I've had all this time. When I realized she would have been 30 years old. And also when you go to the cemetery...
Why it was the hardest?
She would have been 30 years old. I don't...
Because it's a 30.
And it's also very hard. You go at least once a year to the cemetery on the anniversary, and you see all her friends, and they're married with 2, 3, 4 kids, and this and that. Oh, just one more thing. The bombing was on Shushan Purim. Oh no, she died on Shushan Purim. So the day in Jerusalem when everyone's celebrating, what's the name? Purim. I'm happy, and I'm saying Kaddish at the same time, and we can't go to the cemetery that day, so we have to go to the cemetery a day or two later.
Very symbolic day.
Yes, it is. Very, very...
Are you in touch with some of her friends?
I'm not. Rachel's mother is very much in contact with it, especially when she sees them. Because I had left for a while after we got divorced. It was only less than 2 years that we were divorced, but I'd done different things. My mother died a week after the divorce, and I'd been in the States and doing other things. A little bit of the story. It's not an easy time, but I always put it in perspective because I was raised with a father who lost all his family.
So you're grateful for...
I'm not grateful, but I put it... Okay, I put everything in the perspective. Jewish people going through all these things, and how do we say in Hebrew? Everything has to go through hard, difficult times. So this is one of the difficult times.
Of our heritage.
Yes. But as you know, it's not the same country. Things are getting better. Please come and visit.
I would like to say how we say in Hebrew, רק בשמחות.
I agree.
בעזרת השם.
בעזרת השם.
And pleasure meeting you, talking to you.
I moved to Israel in 1971, so I've been through a few things over here.
So definitely have a say.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me a chance to present the Jewish and Israeli story to so many people.